Hello, comadres, and welcome to the Moon Report. Again, my name is Marlene. I am your moon goddess. And as always, I am so happy to share space with you, to give you tips about the moon, to share all this moon magic with you. And hopefully, you're finding it useful in your life. If you're new around here, welcome. We love to have you in this space. We get together twice a month, new moon and full moon. And again, we discuss the energy, what the universe is supporting right now, and how you can support yourself and others along the way. So we have a new moon in Virgo, and that's what we're going to be discussing today because it's happening tomorrow at 4:17 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this new moon in Virgo is really kicking off the Virgo season, and I personally am feeling quite light around this moon, and I'm really happy to say so. It's been quite a heavy energy that we're coming out of. And recently, Uranus, about 2 days ago on the 24th, Uranus went into retrograde. Yes, another planet in retrograde. And if you're new around here and you don't know what retrograde means, it's basically when a planet in the solar system appears to be going backwards. And it's teaching us different lessons. Each planet has an energy, an essence. And when it's going backwards, it's kind of giving us an opportunity to review, to slow down, to take another look. And that is what Uranus is doing, along with a whole bunch of planets that are in retrograde and planets that are going to begin to go in retrograde in the next few weeks. So there's a lot to discuss with this new moon, but I do have to say that the energy is a little bit lighter because the moon itself is only aspecting one hard planet or one hard aspect to one planet. So itself, the moon itself, which represents our subconscious feelings, is having one major aspect, but it's kind of moving freely. And I'm hoping that you're feeling that in primarily what Virgo stands for, which is health, day to day routines, day to day activities, the things that make you feel good on a daily basis, planning, getting organized. Virgo is very analytical, and it symbolizes purity and cleansing. And with this Virgo new moon, we are being reminded to look at what we have been avoiding or what needs tidying up around us. Virgo likes to do it. It likes to do it right, likes to get it done, and, likes to feel good in the process, creating beauty around it. And we are being reminded that we can create that in our daily lives. We don't have to wait for that experience to happen to us. We are creating every experience around us. So that puts us in the driver's seat of creating more beauty and things that you really, really love around you and that make you feel healthy, that make you feel your best self. So let's move into the chart. Let me show you the chart again. And hopefully, if you guys saw last moon report, you enjoyed looking at that chart. There you go. I tried to do this before, but there you go. Of course. Okay, what did I do with the chart? A lot of planets in retrograde. Did I mention that to you? Yeah, I think I did. And really all that means, there it is. Really all that means when I say a lot of planets in retrograde, it's that things get a little bit confusing, get a little bit backwards, but really it's urging us to slow down. The universe is urging us to take our time to sit with things. And I know some of you are like, more sitting, and it's like, yes, more sitting. Um, Here we are looking at the new moon. that is happening in Virgo at 4 degrees. And that one hard aspect that I was telling you about is this square to Mars. Mars is in Gemini at 4 degrees, and it will be in Gemini for about 7 to 8 months because it's going to be going into retrograde in Gemini. And I think it's October, sometime in October. And, this aspect right here, squaring Mars and Gemini, is what's creating a little bit of maybe tension, if anything, when we're talking about squares. We're talking about two planets having a hard conversation, a conversation that is really not finding that middle ground. And, when we're talking about Mars wants to get it done. And since it's in Gemini, it's really trying to find new ways to communicate, new ways to network, new ways to, stay engaged psychologically, mental, but also with Virgo in this moon, it's bringing that energy of combining the body. So right here, we're seeing some kind of questions or some kind of hard aspect on how we combined our body and our mind. Where is that connection or lack thereof? And really urging us that connection should happen every single day, that mind-body connection. We should be working on bridging the gap between our hearts and our minds, our bodies and our minds every day. And what kind of choices are we making? Are we only using our intellect, or are we also using our body to make choices? And we're being reminded of that because, Mars is over here in Gemini, like, okay, let's do it. Let's go. Let's get it done. Let's communicate. Let's find best systems to network with each other. Let's take into consideration everybody's perspective, all truths. And Virgo is down with that. Both Gemini and Virgo share a ruling planet, which is Mercury. So Virgo is down with that, but Virgo's like, okay, how are we going to do it? And Mars is not really that concerned about how we're going to do it. Mars just wants to go do it. But analytical Virgo wants to think about it, do it right, get it done, use their body. So there's a little bit of a hard conversation happening here that can translate for us in frustration, constant thinking, like overthinking or constant seeking of something. And that may trigger our nervous system a little bit. So just be mindful of that. Be mindful of, what you're doing. Remember Virgo. Okay, so what am I doing for my body? How am I self-caring? Virgo rules taking care of the self. What are the steps that you're putting into place day by day to take care of your body, your health, your mind-body connection? So that's a little bit about how this moon is aspecting. And I'm trying to get out of here so that I can bring that chart back. So here we're looking at all the planets. And another thing that I want to point out is what Mercury is doing. Like I mentioned before, Mercury is the ruling planet of both Virgo and Gemini. So we're looking towards Mercury over here, which is at 1 degrees Libra. And if we look at Mercury aspects, we see that there's a trine happening to Mars. So what that means is that the conversation that Mercury is having with Mars, being a trine, is a little bit more amicable. They're trying to find a resolution. Mercury in Libra wants to solve it, wants to fix it, wants to find harmony and balance in the process. And it's seeking for, truth. It's seeking for relating, especially in relating. So that does alleviate a little bit of that hard aspect that the moon is having into Mars. This Mercury in Libra is like, yeah, okay, you want to get it done right now, but is that really working for you? Is that what's going to get us moving in the right direction? So Libra is always seeking that balance, always seeking connecting, relating to the other. So it is relieving the pressure as to, how, how that frustration manifests for us. And Mercury in Libra wants to talk it out, wants to communicate. Now, the interesting thing here is that Mercury is already in its pre-shadow phase. So pre-shadow phase is what happens with the planet right before it's going to go into retrograde. So it's getting ready. It's slowing down. And when a planet slows down before it starts going backwards, it creates tension. So that's going to be happening in September. And Mercury is going to be going retrograde. And then following that, Mars is going to be retrograding in Gemini in October. So just wanted to show you here how many planets are in retrograde. So here where you see all the numbers, all the degrees that are in red as opposed to black, those are all the planets and the asteroids, because I have some asteroids here, and the nodes that are going in retrograde. That's soon going to be joined by Mercury and then Mars. So all of these planets going retrograde, it's what it symbolizes to us is that there's value in taking our time to process whatever is going on with us. And this is going to be manifesting for all of us in different places because we all have different natal charts. This is hitting different parts of our own natal charts. So it's manifesting for us in different ways. But nonetheless, it's going to require patience. It's going to require for you to slow down, to review the processes, to go over things, especially during Mercury in retrograde. It's 3 weeks and it's a short period, but in that time, the devil's in the details. So you may miss things that otherwise you wouldn't miss. So it's not really good to make any major decisions around that time that need your attention to detail, like contracts or buying major purchases or making major life decisions. Now, sometimes we have to do that, but we have to be mindful, or we should be mindful. That's going to take a few more reviews, a few more going over of things to make that important decision. And with all of these planets going in retrograde, I personally think that all decision making here is null and void for the next few months, because it's not like, simple decisions here and there. It's not like, we have to get dramatic about it, but it's like, especially during times of tension, let's not rush. Let's learn to sit. Let's learn that in that time that we wait, more information may become available to us or be revealed. And because of that, We may change a decision, we may pivot or adjust, which otherwise, if we rushed to, we wouldn't have had a chance to know. So there's value in the taking your time. There's value in the being intentional. Because if the universe is showing us like this with the planets, like, hey, look, slow down. It might be a good idea to sit with this before you actually, make that decision, have that conversation, decide to cut somebody out of your life, decide to quit your job. And I do want to highlight Venus. Venus is in Leo. And I want to highlight in the specific time tomorrow when the new moon is exact, that it is opposing almost exactly to Saturn in retrograde in Aquarius. And Venus is those things that we value, those things that we find comforting, that we find beautiful. Money, she rules money, she rules abundance, she rules love. And being opposed to Saturn, this feels like a big hold up, like a big, when Venus is in Leo, it's about what she desires and what she's passionate about. And opposing Saturn, it's almost like, okay, again, hold on. I know that you want to go express all these things, Venus, and you've been through a lot, and here you are in Leo, ready to shine, but it's not time yet. The whole chart during this new moon is almost like a big, it's not time yet. And that doesn't mean that we need to be lethargic or that we need to, avoid every decision in our life. But what it means is that we do get to sit longer. We do get to learn how to reflect. We do get to learn how to go back and check things. We get to learn patience and what the value of patience is. And how does that feel in our body? And where do we get to work with that a little bit deeper? It's time to learn different ways to do the same things that we used to do before. Why? Because it's important that as a collective, we move into a more stable environment, into something that we can rely on and trust, and something more grounding and something more solid, enough more solid foundation that we get to build on. And there's really nothing to hide. Right now, if you're trying to hide anything, it's probably not working. You're probably showing your panties like the rest of us. It's time to really come out with any kind of darkness into the light so that you can heal it already. And this is what the North Node is asking us to do over here in Taurus and Uranus. Find innovative ways to find a more stable ground. Find different unconventional ways to get grounded, to find the life you desire, that you value. Venus is the ruling planet of Taurus. But maybe it's going to take a little bit longer. But maybe it's going to require a little bit more of your patience. But maybe it's going to ask us to review. And there might be some things that we might want to start over. That is okay. We are not running out of time. We're not going to miss the boat. But what we are going to do is that we're going to regulate our nervous system. These earth signs, Virgo, Taurus, earth signs. This is talking about our material, physical life. and it wants to find evidence of that. But it's not time yet. We may have to wait a little bit longer to see the results. That doesn't mean that we stop working towards our goals. So I hope that that helped. I hope that that inspired you in some way. That although we have challenges and we have things that we need to maybe wait for a little bit longer and that require a little bit more of our patience, we are promised that on the other side of that, there'll be more truth, more creativity, more things that are solid in your life that you feel good in and that you can lean on. With Virgo, it's about doing the job right, taking the time to analyze and work step by step, day by day. So fall into routines like that. If you want any rituals for this new moon, set your intentions around health, around how you're going to create changes in your daily life that are going to help you feel better, that are going to set you up for success. And it's not about being perfect, because that's one of the shadow sides of Virgo, perfection. It's about progress. It's about feeling good. It's about 1% better every day. So I hope, comadre, that this new moon inspires you to set intentions that are going to make you feel better for this second half of the year, that are going to set you up in a strong place for when these, Mars goes into retrograde and Mercury goes into retrograde. Uranus is already creating its chaos, and it will be until the end of the year. And, there's a lot more challenges. There's a lot more lessons. There's obstacles. There's things to learn. But if you use this new moon now to stay present and to get yourself stronger day by day, little by little, you're going to definitely show up more powerful in your life, more confident, and more full of love for yourself. Okay, comadre, sending you so much love, a big, big hug. Thank you for being here and supporting these reports. And I will see you in the full moon. Ciao.